A commentary video again since how long? On this video I'm going to debunk Zeta's shitty downplay on the Scarlet King because lots of people are believing on his shit.
In the verse, it was directly said that Scarlet King could not take on Sana on his own and needed to sneak her in order to stand a chance, and Sana was still beating the shit out of him. She was shattering his bones and even made the Scarlet King lose one of his eyes, so automatically that debunks him being boundless. SCP fans have been repping this agenda for years that the Scarlet King has no limits, he's boundless, he solos your verse. No, he has established limits. Mind you, this is the same Scarlet King who needed to absorb several elder gods and still couldn't take on Sana in a fair fight. So in other words, in order for him to become the Scarlet King, he needed to absorb other gods to get stronger, and then snuck up on the Queen of the Primordial Realms just to stand a chance, and was still getting heavily beat on, and then he became the Scarlet King only by just drawing out a fight long enough.
Excuse me, what the fuck are you saying? How is Kharak not being able to beat Sana anti-feat? Sana is literally implied to be one of the strongest gods in the Jorikverse. Also, the bones and eyes part are a metaphor, as the Scarlet King has no true physical form. The only people who say he's layers into boundless or shit are fake SCP fans stuck on 2023, or they either don't read the actual articles. It seems like that the SCP glaze made you think that the Scarlet King would be a Mary Sue character and every story would be about him destroying multiverses. Of course he is not that.
Only happened because he's a bitch. Now, going off rip, we don't even know how strong the Elder Gods Scarlet King even absorbed. There is just no statements that ever confirm how strong these gods are. And the only reason he would scale to Sana is because he probably ate her just like he did the other gods. But even then, we don't even know how strong Sana is either, other than her being massively stronger than Elder Gods. So for conclusion 1, Scarlet King's origin story scales nowhere or unknown. Some people might try—
This shit is getting worse. Not only you are cherry-picking scans, but you also avoid showing feats. We do know that the Scarlet King is massively superior to the Hanged King in Mechane, as we know the Hanged King is a rival to Yaldabaoth. How strong is Yaldabaoth? She is stated to be the great devourer who made the whole multiverse an altar for sacrifices, so this is implying Yaldabaoth can destroy the metaverse, which is composed of infinite possible universes, and each universe has infinite iterations of itself. Not only that, but Yaldabaoth can threaten to destroy the Tree of Life, and Mechane can stop her from doing that. The Hanged King is also an archetypical being. Gods and SCP are the forces of the cosmos given thought and will, and they are able to create their own universes. It seems like you only read Dust and Blood because all the scans you show are from this story. Did you forget there are more stories of the Scarlet King than Dust and Blood?
Or unknown. Some people might try to argue that Scarlet King has an eternal nature, meaning he existed prior to the concepts of time and space, meaning his existence is not subject to spatial or temporal restrictions, placing him at outerversal levels of existence. Now, while it does make sense for an eternal being to not be bounded to the concepts of time and space, the narrative of the Scarlet King for some reason defies this framework entirely, as it's directly stated within Set's prophecy that he is shown a path the future would take. There was to be a flood until such a time when the Scarlet King might truly be destroyed. This would imply that the Scarlet King's death is a future point on the path. To address another form of—
This means nothing. I find it funny how you say Kharak cannot be outer because he's bound by time when you literally scale Goku to outerversal when he can't breathe on space. You should know by now that existence does not always equal attack potency. Also, that statement you showed means nothing. Gods can be destroyed or vanished, but they will eventually return. They are eternal.
Doesn't make any sense. After the events of his origin story, we know about his desire to destroy the Tree of Creation, so let's now cover how he's actually trying to destroy it. The following quotes I'm about to mention are descriptions of the Tree of Creation's destruction. 1. The Tree of Life rots from its wounds. 2. The ways between worlds fester with poison. 3. The shadow of his presence reaches out across all of creation to corrupt and consume and destroy. Now, obviously, the Scarlet King cannot just one-shot the Tree of Creation, especially since there's an ongoing war between his forces and humanity in order to fight for the Tree of Creation, which would be completely meaningless if he could just instantly blow it up. There wouldn't be any war. So because of this, the context of Scarlet King's destruction of the Tree of Creation tells us something much different than most people would believe. It's most likely referring to an overtime corruption or corrosion, which is especially supported with a direct statement saying that the Scarlet King is poisoning the Tree of Creation. We also don't even have a time frame as to how long it would take for the Scarlet King to destroy the Tree of Creation or basically corrupt it from the inside. The narrative also doesn't help, as it doesn't clarify what the poisoning will do to the realms.
Holy fucking shit. This is cherry-picking fallacy at its finest. Hey, race a feat from the story When We Came Home, which shows that the Scarlet King's presence shocked creation and that his fight with the brothers' death destroyed everything. He also destroyed it on the Real Adventures in Capitalism. Though he was defeated by the brothers' death, it still shows the Scarlet King can destroy the Tree of Knowledge.
Assume it'd be something like reality warping space-time rather than just blowing it up outright. Now, how big is the actual Tree of Creation? Well, it is implied that there are a bunch, if not infinite, timelines that exist, but I haven't really seen any good cases as to why we should interpret infinite literally, especially when we have all the accounts of the war and the destruction of the Tree of Creation still occurring within the future. So that just seems very unlikely. You have to make a bunch of excuses for that. So overall, the Scarlet King should scale to about universal to low multiversal in terms of attack potency, with his destructive capabilities extending to pretty much a multiversal range over time. In conclusion, this is a false king. That's all I got for this video. See ya.
Your video was trash. All you did was downplay Kharak to make him seem like a weakling and cherry-picking scans to avoid showing his actual good feats. Also, the Tree of Knowledge being infinite and it being attacked doesn't mean it's not infinite. The Scarlet King has the power to destroy it, so it doesn't really matter. By the way, this is the Jorikverse version of the Scarlet King we are talking about. Most people think this Scarlet King is only multiversal plus, however that's not true since Jorikverse shares a canon with Acidverse and Allegata who have stuff like this. Also, you can argue the Scarlet King from Jorikverse being the same as Tufto's proposal since there's a link to Tufto's proposal on the Song of Sana. Tufto's Scarlet King is the same one that fought SCP-3125 and turned the Noosphere inside out. However, this isn't a video scaling the Scarlet King. I plan to make a video like that on the future. Anyways, goodbye and never trust Goku Glazers.